Welcome to the deep dive.
Oh,
Okay, so today we're tackling something pretty timely, maybe a bit uncomfortable. It's about getting help with your job search.
yeah, we've got all these sources you send over articles, research, notes, looking at that really fine line between valuable support and, well, potential exploitation.
It feels like walking a tightrope sometimes.
Definitely.
Hmm.
And the sources point out, places like LinkedIn, huge target, over 300 million users. Plus, this big jump in remote jobs, it's apparently driven like a 37% increase in scams year over year.
Wow.
So our mission here, based on your materials, is to help you understand the difference, spotting the scam versus, the real deal paid help.
Okay, let's get into it.
Yeah.
Your sources really zero in on how these online job platforms can be, exploited. They list some common scams like identity theft.
Exactly. Simple fake job postings. They're just bait, really, designed to get your personal info.
And then there's fee for training.
Right, where they ask you to pay up front. For training programs that either don't exist or just don't give you what they promised. And these fake recruiters, some are getting incredibly sophisticated.
Imposter profiles.
Yay!
Building trust.
Yeah, building false trust to eventually scam you.
So the big question, how do the sources say you spot these? What are the signals?
Okay, well, one major red flag they mention is early access demands. Anyone asking for like bank details or your social security number, that kind of sensitive info, way too early, before any real offer. Big warning sign.
Okay, well,
Two good offers. You see a job with a salary that seems, frankly, unbelievable for the role, or the qualifications are suspiciously easy. Be wary. Very wary.
makes sense if it looks too good to be true.
It probably is, and maybe the biggest one, guaranteed placement. If someone says they can absolutely guarantee you a job, especially if you have to pay them for that guarantee, the sources are clear. That's classic scam territory. No legitimate professional can promise that.
Right. Okay, so that's the dark side. But here's where it gets interesting. Contrasting that with what the sources call ethical paid help. It's not about paying for the job itself.
Exactly. It's paying for a service. Legitimate support, according to these materials, has clear value, transparent pricing. You know what you're paying for up front.
And the person helping you is actually qualified.
Yes. Qualified, verifiable expertise, credentials, maybe testimonials you can check, a track record. And crucially, honest expectations are set.
Meaning no guarantees.
No guarantees of getting a job, but support aimed at improving your chances, making your process better. Often there's a written agreement, too, laying it all out.
Okay, but let's address the elephant in the room. Why charge at all? If you're job hunting, money might be tight. Why pay?
That's a fair question, and the sources explain the value proposition. Think about the time investment. A good professional puts in significant time, which can actually save you weeks, maybe months of searching.
Okay, time saved.
And specialized knowledge. They understand things like applicant tracking systems, effective networking in specific industries, interview techniques, stuff that isn't always common knowledge.
Things you might not figure out easily on your own.
Right. Plus, they need to keep learning, stay current. And the goal is measurable results. Maybe you get placed faster, or you negotiate a better salary. That has real, tangible value.
There's an emotional side too, isn't there? The sources touch on that. You, the job seeker, you might feel vulnerable, financially strained, maybe even a bit skeptical.
Absolutely. And sometimes there's this expectation, that help should be free when you're down on your luck.
But the sources balance that.
They do, with the helper's perspective. Their expertise didn't come free. It represents years of training, investment. To provide really personalized, sustainable help, well, they need to be compensated. It's a market reality for specialized guidance. It's a service.
So let's boil it down. The key differences, according to the sources, between a scam and legit service.
Okay, scams often operate with vague or no real credentials. They demand cash upfront for that guaranteed job. They might use high-pressure sales tactics, lots of secrecy.
And then they disappear.
Often, yeah, once they have the money. On the flip side, legitimate services. They have transparent qualifications you can usually verify. They charge for specific services outlined in a clear contract or agreement.
Professional boundaries, too, I imagine.
Yes, professional boundaries.
Yeah.
And ongoing communication, actual support. The core difference really is transparency and delivering actual tangible value, not just smoke and mirrors.
So the sources really emphasize clarity, consent, and credibility. Those are your guiding principles.
Exactly.
And the actionable steps they suggest seem pretty straightforward.
Huh.
First, research. Check out anyone you're thinking of paying. Verify their credentials, look for reviews or testimonials.
Absolutely. Second, get agreement. Make sure the terms are crystal clear. What exactly are they doing for you and what's the cost?
And third, view it as a partnership. Mutual respect, realistic expectations on both sides.
Yeah, understanding those scam warnings and knowing what real, transparent help looks like. It's just crucial today.
So in this increasingly digital, often complex job search world, here's something to think about. How do you, as a job seeker, really sharpen those critical thinking skills? How do you get better at telling genuine support from exploitation when, both can show up on the very same screen looking
Yeah.
pretty similar at first glance?
That's definitely something worth pondering.